Hey, Facebook friends. I've been meaning to share something that's been on my heart for a little while now. So here it goes. It should take about 5 or 6 minutes, so hang in there with me. The craziness of 2020 has caused people to question whether God is still in control, or for some, whether he even exists at all. And I'm here to tell you that not only does he exist, but he's still in control, and he hasn't been surprised by anything that's happened this year. Now, my title for this post is that the Big Bang proves God exists. And understand, when I use the word prove here, I'm not talking about a mathematical type proof where 2 plus 2 is always going to equal 4. I don't believe you can arrive at that type of certainty when it comes to the existence of God. I am saying that when you combine the evidence of the Big Bang with a little reason, on balance, the only conclusion you can logically arrive at is that God does indeed exist. Now, when I was in school, I had discussions with friends about God and about the origins of our universe. And yes, I am still just as nerdy today as I was back then. And I would ask my friends, where did the matter come from to create the universe? And how did it all come together? And they would counter with, where did God come from? And who created him? And those discussions would generally end there in somewhat of a stalemate. Either God is eternal, or perhaps our universe is eternal. Now, when I first heard about the Big Bang, Christians resisted the idea because the implication was that it would eliminate the need for a creator. With the combination of the Big Bang and evolution, science had proven there was no need to believe that God caused our universe, right? However, as more evidence of a Big Bang was found, what the Big Bang also proved was that there was a point when nothing existed in the universe. And this is critical to understand because it proved our universe is not eternal. There was a point in time when nothing existed. So where did matter suddenly come from, and how did it come together to form the world as we know it? The only possible explanation is there was intelligence that created the world and pulled it all together to form order, complexity, and the beauty that we see in nature. To suggest it came together by chance when nothing had existed is just ludicrous. The Big Bang actually argues for God's existence. William Paley was an 18th century philosopher, and he used an analogy that I think is appropriate here. He said if you were walking in a forest and you picked up a rock and observed that rock, that you would probably conclude fairly quickly that it had always existed there in the forest. However, if during that same walk you were to come across a watch, and you picked up the watch and examined it, you would understand from the detail and the craftsmanship of that watch that it had likely been designed, and that it had been designed for a purpose. Similarly, when you examine our Earth, you understand it did not happen by chance, but there was a designer behind it. Now, if you choose to deny God's existence, you need to answer 3 questions. How did matter suddenly come into existence? How did it explode and then somehow come together in an organized fashion? And how did that initial single-cell life form come into existence in the first place? Science doesn't have any answers for these questions. There's an obvious answer that they choose to ignore. God. God created our world by causing a Big Bang that science has found evidence for, and he did so with a purpose, just as he created you with a purpose. Perhaps accepting the fact that God exists comes with a level of accountability that some people might want to avoid. Romans tells us that the power and divine nature of God have been clearly seen ever since his creation, so that those who choose to deny him are without excuse. So, friends, take comfort today in knowing that God exists and that he created you with a purpose. He wasn't surprised by COVID. He wasn't surprised by all the social unrest that exists today. He hasn't been surprised by anything that's happened this year, and he's still in control. If you believe that, as I do, please share this post today. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear from you as well. And most importantly, if you're someone who's curious but you don't have a relationship with God currently, it's time to seek Him out and understand what His purpose for your life is. And I would encourage those of you who are in that position to contact your local Christian church, speak to a pastor, or reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk with you as well. Thanks for hanging in there through this whole message. I really appreciate it. God bless.